these are some personalised plectrums from some famous bands that I actually managed to get a hold of. I've actually got Brian May's actual sixpence that he played at one of his concerts. My friend Ariel got for me, which is great, and also have like Prince's plectrum. I've got the Scorpions, Joe Satriani, Def Leppard, the Eagles. Some of these were actually picked up at actual concerts. I've even got my own plectrum, because from my band Infallible, which is cool. Yeah, so I've got all that there. And anyway, I've got a new creative project which I have hidden behind the door here. And this is all of the concerts that I've been to in my life, well, most of them anyway. So I'll take you through them so you can see a bit closer. AC/DC, that was the last show I was at actually in Hampden Park. Some of you guys were there. Aerosmith, Adamant, who I always liked, Alice Cooper, who I've seen several times, must be at least 7 times there, twice on Halloween, which was really, really cool. Blondie, who I've seen a couple of times. Bon Jovi. Now, I was a big Bon Jovi fan. I've seen them, my goodness, must be a dozen times. They used to be a real rock band. I mean, nowadays the girls like them and stuff, but it used to be, a real hard rock band. It was they were the real deal. They've kind of softened up a little bit over the time. Anyway, talking about soft rock, there's David Gates and Bread. I was always actually a fan of their music, my easy listening, and after that, they never toured very often, and I actually got to meet David Gates, and ended up that the whole of Bread, the rest of the band, actually died since then, which is really quite a shocker. So they weren't young, obviously. So next one, it was Brian May and Kerry Ellis. So she's from does the musical Wicked sometimes, and that's Rufus Taylor, Roger Taylor from Queen's drummer's son, who played with them. Bryan Adams and some more Brian May stuff. And there's Chuck Berry. I got very close to him, actually. It took my dad to see him. In 1957, my dad waited outside a concert hall all night, never heard a note, so I managed to remedy that when my dad was about. Roger Taylor's band The Cross, that was at Guildford Hall, Civic Hall. Roger Taylor played with The Cross, when Freddie started to become ill, because Roger was getting antsy that he wasn't actually out playing. Bruce Springsteen at Wembley, and my goodness, that was amazing. 4 hours of just intense energy. The guy's an amazing guy to see. The Eagles, always awesome. Duran Duran, who was a band that I really regretted that I hadn't seen them, so I managed to catch up with them, and they were really good live, actually, really good band. Def Leppard, who I've seen loads of times. This was the first time I saw them. I actually saw them on the Hysteria tour when they just made it big time over here. And I actually eventually managed to meet Joe and Phil actually at the same venue years later. Delamitri, a bit of easy listening. Elton John took Pam for her birthday, and the Nick Kershaw supported. And after the show, I gave Pam Elton John's autograph because I had actually got it at a different event. Extreme, who I've actually managed to see and actually I've hung out with them briefly. They're really nice guys. Genesis at Wembley Stadium. I went there with my sister, and I remember she wore her high heels to Wembley Stadium. Like, what are you doing? Prince Charles and Diana were there, and when they turned up and the Royal Anthem came on, everyone turned sideways, and I ran all the way up the front. And then there's the Eagles, 1996 Hell Freezes Over tour, and we managed to get right in at the front area. We got a band and things, so that was good. Genesis also played in Edinburgh, and tickets were very scarce for that gig because they were playing at the Playhouse, and obviously they're a stadium band. On the day of the show, one of my friends said there was a couple that were arguing outside, and managed to buy the tickets off of them, and I got in the car and got there as fast as I could. Gun, who had the song Word Up. This was just before they went big with that. They played A Small Place in Cumbernauld, and they were really amazing. Then the classic Guns N' Roses, the real lineup. That was a Use Your Illusions tour, and Axl Rose actually almost stopped the band at one point because the audience were getting really rough, and he was kind of a bit worried about that, as a couple of people had died at Donington at one point during one of their sets. Judas Priest with the Scorpions. I was really there to see the Scorpions. Joe Satriani, who I actually met as well with my brother, amazing guitarist. Here's a band for Wembley Arena. I think that would be for Kiss. Then there's my band, Infallible, or the band I'm with the other guys. And yeah, we did a couple of gigs there, and they spelt us Infallible wrong, which they used to do all the time. That was at the venue. Yeah, Kiss at Donington, all over. Seen Kiss loads of times. Really amazing band. Magnum, Paul Rodgers, Paul McCartney, who actually did Mulligan Tyre with a full pipe band for Glasgow. Phil Collins' first final farewell tour, and I think that actually ended up being his farewell tour. I mean, he did stuff with Genesis, but as solo, that was the last thing. He was incredible as well. Olivia Newton-John, there you go. There's one of the ladies in there. She's still got it. Oh yeah, Finsbury Park. I've got a band there because I actually won tickets for that. I actually went to a thing at 2 o'clock in the morning and danced around and tried to look like Kiss in order to get tickets, and we got tickets. At the show, my brother was doing security and ended up shocking me by grabbing me at the back. So, and that was really cool to see him there. So there we go. What else have we got? Marillion, that's when they just changed singers. Meatloaf, Martin Joseph, who actually once is an acoustic artist who I once sang with actually at King Tut's, the place where Oasis were discovered. Richard Marx. This was the Mick Ronson tribute concert, which had Def Leppard guys and Roger Taylor and a lot of cool people there, and the Spiders from Mars, because it was all related to Mick Ronson, who'd played with David Bowie. I actually saw Mick Ronson the year before at this concert, at the Freddie Mercury tribute concert, a year before he died. That was an amazing concert, the Freddie Mercury tribute concert, one of the most famous concerts ever in history. Yeah, we've got Prince, who I've seen about 4 times, I think. I mean, he's an alien. He's just too incredible for words. Roger Taylor, who I saw solo. Rush, classic band. This was the We'll Rock You in Edinburgh, the theatre show, the Queen theatre show, and actually Brian May and Roger Taylor were there that night, so that's why I was there. This was the first concert I was at, which was Queen at Slane Castle in Ireland, 95,000 people, and the Bangles and Chris Rea were supporting, and it was just a totally amazing day, seeing the great Freddie Mercury and the band at their peak. Queen and Paul Rodgers, Queen and Adam Lambert. This was the Cross. Yes, where was I? Yes, Roger Taylor and the Cross. They had a Roger Taylor's solo band. I remember talking to my friend Ariel from Argentina, and he said, "Oh, I really wish I'd had a chance to see that band." And I said, if they ever reunite, maybe it'll be near London or something, we could go together, we could go and see them. That year, they did a 25th anniversary reunion show, which we actually got to see, and my friend flew over from Argentina, and we actually got to see them, and it was great. Midure was there actually as support, doing some Ultravox songs. It was great, and yeah, a lot of cool stuff. This is a backstage pass from Nazareth, who the band I was in, Infallible, supported. Our friend Graham was a friend of theirs and managed to get us in, and so that was our backstage pass. And here's Slash, which I've seen a few times. Soul Asylum, don't know if you remember them. They did Runaway Train. Did the Who, the classic Who, Whitesnake. And this was Whitesnake's biggest show ever, really, at Donington, with Steve Vai. And they had Poison and Thunder, the Choir Boys. Jimmy Page was there that day. It it was just an amazing thing. Aerosmith as well, incredible, all in the one lineup. This is an evening with David Hasselhoff, the Hoff, which my brother was a big fan of, so I actually helped my brother to go and see and meet him, and that was really good because my brother had an actual Knight Rider Trans Am car when he was in the States, and David Hasselhoff signed a photo of that. Classic Status Quo, can't go wrong with that. Bit of Skid Row. Patrick Stewart, who I actually managed to blag my way using my life coaching skills into see, and we actually got the press seats right in front of Patrick Stewart, which was great. Velvet Revolver, which was basically most of Guns N' Roses, playing there with the guy from STP, and so that's a bit. And also Star Wars the concert, which is the guy who'd played C-3PO, Anthony Daniels. He actually presented the show, and they played bits from the film with the music actually at the same time from a full orchestra, which was incredible. So guys, there you go. That's my rock and roll life there. I'm not there. Cheers.